ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
mouz Sports do the damage on Mirage. They picked up the first win in this best of two maps here in the Pro League. First day, debut day of our 5th season here at the ESL Studios live from Cologne. Jad Birchall and Matt Trivett joining me. Trivett?
Trivett, you're right. You're actually correct. You nailed it.
I never get that right.
Can you say Dust's last name?
Muret.
Moray.
Fudge. That was a good catch.
I thought you were gone. I thought you were gone.
I want to take a bow.
That does actually, I'll applaud that.
Thank you.
I will applaud that.
Thank
I
you
thought
very
you were
much.
done.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on, mouz Sports and Astralis are going into Nuke. Now, this is an intriguing affair given mouz Sports' performance on Mirage. We have seen Astralis win already today on this very map. Matt was casting it and set the scene beautifully by just simply stating that Astralis and the Danes in general have looked great on this map. Now, Nuke has undergone a couple of changes, Chad, and we didn't have a chance to talk about it the first time this cropped up. So before we start talking teams, I'd just like to quickly address a reoccurring trend on Nuke pistols. We have seen, I was talking to Henry G recently, and we're seeing more and more of these upper rushes just bursting out on upper, a Tech 9, sometimes even 2 Tech 9s on that T-side Nuke, and just bursting out, and that seems to be the kind of rinse and repeat pistol start now. Is that just because of that squeaky change?
I don't think so. You saw it a little bit before as well.
Did?
That squeaky change makes it better for gun rounds, I find, especially to get picks towards I call it annex, people call it mini. I don't know.
Main entrance.
Yeah, that works too. That area, I think you can now, it's now easier to nade open on the run and actually get like some picks or put out their Molotov with the smoke and good flashes and stuff like that. I think under the addition of the box and the dark spot, I don't know what you guys call that either. That's another one, dark spot.
Yeah.
That box also, you know, it adds a lot. It's another position you can hide and peek out from. And that's pretty effective.
Oh, the 2 red boxes they added.
Yeah. Well,
down below.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dark spot. I don't like those boxes.
What's that? Why?
Too much.
There's a lot of places to hide.
Yeah, you've got Toxic now that doesn't have a window. It has 2 doors. You already have decontamination that you can open to control. You've got windows. You've got control room double doors. As soon as you add that box, it's way too easy. That the whole point of taking those out and having dark room open made it from vents. That peak was much easier because when you're peeking from vents, you already have that plus both entrances from ramp.
Sure.
Now you have both entrances from ramp, and to get to that position, you either have to jump over top from the railing to get them. It's the only angle you can get to jump on them, or you've got to get down and commit to the site, which means leaving yourself open to too many other angles. I think that box is one step too far. I like all the other changes.
It's a bit like whack-a-mole, that bomb.
Do you think it helps more the
terrorists and post plant?
Once they take it.
It's the post plant hold that worries you, not the CT hold.
CT not so much because you're going to be coming in usually from ramp anyway, so you're going to be above that position.
You have to clear it regardless.
Yeah.
Okay. And you didn't say irregardless, which would have, of course,
redundancy.
Yeah.
It's not a word.
Who said that before?
I've heard it said an absurd amount of times.
It's gotten to the point where it was not a word, and people still said it so much that they chose to add it to the dictionary as a side note. Yeah, it's actually in a few dictionaries now. Yeah, it's pretty bad when we have to change the rules of language because we're not smart enough to keep up with it.
Irregardless of the fact, we should talk about, of course, mouz Sports and their success on Mirage, and whether we think that this was simply just the competent individuals. We know that they're on an individual basis, they're good players. You have Nico, you have Lowell, the standout Spaniard. You've got good players at the helm. Oscar stepping in and actually doing damage on his kind of debut back under the mouz Sports name. Whether it was just those delivering and Astralis choking, or we actually think we saw a little bit of team play that will translate to Nuke. Because, I mean, team play is a necessity, wouldn't you say, on Nuke?
They were kind of pack rolling around on Mirage, and it was like individual multi-frags that were getting them, not across the line, but it was definitely helping them a lot. You know, it wasn't just brilliance with strategy, which the narrative I ran with before was, you know, they needed to be a lot more strategic and they wouldn't have a lot of depth, but it turns out, you know, that didn't work that way. No. So I'm going to run with the same narrative. I think they're going to struggle because this is a better map for a team, and Matt mentioned again the rotations on the CT side. You have to, that's theoretical Counter-Strike. You have to sit there in a server and actually talk about how you're going to do that, and I don't know if this team has had a chance to do that right now, but that could also be a positive thing because on the flip side, if they're going to be a little bit more random, it might catch Astralis off guard.
I mean, it's really hard to deny that on the desk here, Matt, that we're sitting saying Astralis won the major. Astralis just beat Na'Vi on Nuke.
Yeah.
mouz Sports have just made roster changes. mouz Sports weren't good at Nuke without roster changes. I mean, everything points to one thing.
We're seeing weaknesses in Astralis though tonight, which is quite evident, and I think that just has to do with the mental stamina. Being able, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Why would I be motivated after a team, especially like a team like Astralis, who's gone through so much, been knocked out in semifinals so many times. They've had the name favorite before. They've been considered one of the best teams before, and they've never won a major. They finally do that. I'm going to be honest with you. You can pay me 20 grand a month, whatever the heck. I don't know what they're making, but that's the high end of the scale these days on some teams. So let's assume even if they're paying 50 grand a month, I'm not really going to be motivated to show up a week later online. I'm going to take time to enjoy it, and I'm not going to be practicing much that week.
I think as well, from a coach perspective for Zonic, looking at mouz, how do you prepare for this match? You can look back at when they had Chris J and go, all right, well, we know this, but it's coming into a fresh-faced roster. The Oscar edition can change a lot of things.
I'm glad you mentioned Zonic, because I've got the information from the Twitter sphere that he has not slept much.
Really?
He has a daughter, or a child, I believe, who apparently did not respect the fact that he was watching the Super Bowl until 5 a.m. and woke him up at 6 a.m. So he's...
irresponsible parenting right there. What's he doing watching the Super Bowl? Should be up for that child.
It was quite a Super Bowl,
Can't wait to
apparently.
see you as a dad, Chad.
Me as dad?
Yeah.
You couldn't.
I can't picture it.
I could.
Oh.
He'd be like, get your thongs on, we're going to the
Your son's first or daughter's first word would be an inappropriate word for broadcast that Australians seem to like a lot.
What do you call a petrol station again?
A servo.
Pop your thongs on, we're going to the servo, and you'd call her like Crystal. Oh, that's what you'd call your daughter, I think.
That's like a stripper name.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's a beautiful gemstone.
There you go. Chad's daughter will be named a stripper name to prepare her for the future.
Wow, that's
In her thongs. In her thongs. See, perfect.
Oh,
It
no.
works. Yeah.
We're talking about flip-flops, for those of you that are unaware. I'm not suggesting his child would be wearing inappropriate underwear. God, what have we done? Okay, we
We've
can head
fallen
over
off
to
the
people
wagon.
who are much more on the wagon than us. It is none other than your faithful casting duo of Uber and Pansy.
Giving the wrong impression of Australians, by the way. Like, Chad's not, but let's be honest. Crystal, nothing wrong with that name.
Chardonnay.
Chardonnay. Chardonnay.
But-
No, we have normal names for Australians, okay?
Oh,
Mitch is
okay.
totally normal.
Yeah, no. It's just more that they come to us to be like pulling the tone up. It's a dangerous game to play. I'm not
I
gonna
think
lie,
Alex
but-
doesn't like being the more civilized one anymore.
No, he
That's
kept
an
it
issue.
together. He kept it together there. He tried to keep it together. Matt just drags him away.
There's
into the
only
dark
so many
areas.
dessert foods you can name, I guess, to stop you from making a slip on air. But anyway, we're going to take a trip back to the lovely placid Cedar Creek Power Plant. We're going to be jumping into Nuke, ladies and gentlemen, for our last map of the night. Astralis against mouz Sports. And yes, our major champions, yes, they're looking good, but mouz Sports have shown us a little bit more than we otherwise expected, Lauren.
Yeah, I just want to see how well this pans out as a collective. I want to see how much mouz Sports can really do. Depth in this map is difficult. We know that Astralis have it. We saw it just a moment ago. Whether or not they can keep that up is yet to be seen.
Depth in this map is also really hard for observing, of course. Well, if you're not familiar with Nuke, as you probably should be, as you've made your way here, both sites pretty much stacked one on top of each other, so minimap maybe not your best tool for observing this game so far.
We've got Rush at the helm.
Yeah, we've got
heard
Rush
his
and
pro
Pat on the
tips.
observing, so
Yep.
big shout-outs to those two.
Yep, doing a great job.
And again, we're going to
Well,
jump
so
in.
far.
Yeah, well, you know how it is with Rush. You pump him up too much, and then he makes a smoke video for a map, and then...
I can't abuse him yet. All right, it's the start of the season. I have to be nice. I've been, I've got to ease into.
You gave him so much gaff for coming in late today. I'm not even going to go there. You literally got out of your chair and walked into the hallway to tell Rush that he had in fact come late, and he had in fact come in after us, which is
That's
that is
the
saying
point.
something. To
That's
be fair.
the point. If you're enough to us, but I get what I wanted to see in the first game. Astralis' T side. Now, the reason I want to see this is because their performance when you see it at the majors and such was really impressive. They seemed so robust. They seemed like they had a bit of a plan in mind. They had a really nice approach to it. Utilizing some of the changes, I think Squeaky Door was something that was brought up on the desk a lot. Basically, you can nade it now. You can kind of do different
A-hit,
things
very
with it. Yeah,
potent.
you can do the vent dive as such. Maybe not a great idea, but we'll see what Astralis do now. They had the advantage before because Na'Vi never got rolling, never had the utility. Now mouz Sports maybe going to get it going for themselves and hopefully get that behind them. But already a bit of a ramp play going to come out and force Speedy to back away. Does not outstay his welcome. Doesn't fancy the fight, and he's going to go and back towards ramp, maybe towards dark. You've got a lot of options here, but now he's caught out, and there is trouble afoot.
Oh, he had timing. He's the guy with the utility, by the way, on mouz Sports now. He had a flash in the smoke, and that's been pretty much squandered now. That's to be picked up by whoever may choose. 3 players for mouz Sports remaining. Dennis does actually manage to find a kill over on the site. Again, what will that convert into? That's the big question. Oscar now had no time to waste, really had to stand and deliver. His footsteps gave him away. Now it's going to be Dennis trying to duel it out with Dupree. The reload coming at the worst possible time, and Dennis is going to be taken down. Astralis with that first, and the pistol in hand for the T-side team. Definitely a good start.
Yeah. let's see what they go for. So, yeah, 2 UMPs coming out, 3 rifles, perfectly fine. Kind of expected at this point. And the other side responding.
Shut this down early if you can.
Yeah, it's certainly viable. We saw a lot of rounds going back and forward in just the last game. So Nuke does allow it to happen. There's a lot of kind of tighter angles you can hold if you give up certain pieces of the map. So wouldn't be 100% surprised to see it happen. But it looks like Astralis falling into the mode that we saw before. Straight fights. They know that mousesports can't stop them. They know that there will not be mollies. There won't be nades. There might be a couple of players with 5.7s, but that's going to be about it. But that might be a problem as Spitty now finds dupreeh. We're into a 2v3, but the 3 players remaining have a... Oscar?
Dear. That's not ideal.
That's not ideal either. Glaive getting his head taken off after that. Now you're annoyed. Now you're frustrated. And now you've got to deal with 2 players and one has a rifle.
Oh, Oscar, yeah. I mean, look, it's one or the other, right? Now he's going to walk back through his own Molotov. I mean, you go for the peak or you go for the molly. One or the other. Unfortunately, you had to back away and, well, you saw it yourselves. Device going to head down now to the lower levels, and Astralis now will just shake themselves free of that last fight. They've got a flash to work with here. They're armored up. They've got helmets. Everything they need here, and the onus is on mousesports to get a little bit creative. Oscar has that AK, although he's squandered a lot of HP that he didn't otherwise need to.
They're the sort of moments you pray no one was watching you, but...
We were.
Yeah, speaking of watching as well, it looks like Device is well aware of this, but does get dinked there, actually. So Oscar going to dive back down, but Device has vacated the vents, you know. Not going to be sticking around too long, going through decon. And actually does get found by Oscar. Does have a kit as well, Oscar, so things could get tricky, but Kirby surely going to be able to buy time in this. Going to get a nice position for himself.
He's seen it all. Kirby's up on the top side
He's
here.
holding it.
He saw Oscar fall down here. Just a quick push, quick.
Lovely.
One tap to the head. Mercifully taking care of Oscar there as well. And now you'll notice, obviously only one player on the side of Astralis, so they brought up a couple of AKs. And they can't really do it again so quickly after losing 4.
It's costly, but you know mousesports again are going to be in a worse position to just go on to a lot more SMGs. Just get MAC-10 coming out, you can get UMPs, and just do the same thing pretty much. You can just run in towards upper. They didn't seem to stop against Na'Vi, so I don't know if they're going to stop now. It works. But you might have to eventually pay attention because mousesports could just stack out upper. Just, you know, try and find a way around it. But it looks like Astralis is going to do somewhat similar things. 3 players, or at least 2 towards Squeak, 2 kind of watching those angles, going to deny the peek from main. Having troubles with the door, but they'll get around that eventually, as now they're just going to do a little bit of a foray in towards upper, but they lose out. Kirby going to find Glaive. That's not good. And now Nico going to wait patiently, but look where the dupreeh is, or where, I was going to say where the bomb is, but no, it's just dupreeh who's just gone walkabouts.
Yeah, no, dupreeh's going to ideally secure the B side. Xyp9x is wrapping towards lowers here as well. So into ramp room now, dupreeh is essentially canvases for him. So, I mean, at the least a bomb plant, but Astralis are in a good position so far in this round. However, they have allowed mousesports to scavenge some of these weapons. It's an AK in the hands of Spitty, and Nico never had the chance to really use that UMP. 1v2, dupreeh with a MAC-10. Spitty with no armor to speak of and does need to be wary. Yeah, he's going to save this one.
Yeah, good from save. It is a very punishing map for the CT side. The things that other maps you can get away with, like trying to throw in CT aggression, which you can do on here. We saw Glaive being a great man to do that on the CT side, pushing towards outside, sitting under silo, kind of watching the, I guess, catwalks above, having a little peek towards, you know, T-Red, see if anyone's coming from it. You can find ways around it, but it's tricky. It's incredibly hard to find a way into this map without it. So for the CT side, any sort of buffer for them to allow themselves to finally build up an economy would be great, whereas Astralis can still run in pretty hot without all of the utility behind them. But still, you want to get those options to start building.
I don't mind the fact that mousesports in round 2 buy down to 250 or 500 and get pistols and some utility to delay a full buy from Astralis by an extra round. Yeah. That's now coming in now, essentially. We'll call it that, I guess, for the sake of nomenclature. So, you know, they had another chance in that previous round to actually get in. They got very close. So the idea was there. Yes, it's a 3-0 score line. Mousesports have been making some of the right moves, just not quite dotting their I's and crossing their T's, but now they've managed to buy up to almost the same degree of Astralis in some senses, but Device has the AWP. That's going to be dangerous.
But Dennis is just surely going to just hold pretty passive here, I can imagine. So just maybe holding a little bit of a peek towards upper every now and then, just watching the push through towards, you know, underneath Crows or Hell, however you want to call it. Kirby, though, going to exploit this. They know that they're probably not going to be able to afford an AWP, so you're going to try and get that out of control going as early as possible. Really nice flashes here, just going to keep them guessing. Dennis forced to back away. They don't know the position, so they don't keep an eye on Secret, but they don't need to because Glaive adjusts perfectly towards Oscar. It does allow the play from Dennis, but he's giving away a little bit of the game here. Lol's the one to find dupreeh, and we're in a 4v3 now.
Yep. And this is, you know, positive trading for Astralis. They're trading into this side fairly well, but Dennis somehow gets the blind side there. I guess Kirby had a couple angles very, very far apart that he did have to cover now. It's a 3v2. AWP still in the hands of Device. Glaive tentatively making moves in towards ramp room. Won't find much for the moment.
No, this gets pretty tough now for Mouse. It's a bit of a gamble, bit of a guess, and You're not going to be in the best positions. Glaive going to go for the plant now, so that's down towards lower. And you've got 2 other players basically watching your push. Lol and Dennis might need to consider their timing on this. They don't have a kit as well, which is the harder part here. That's going to play into it, but Device playing a very forward position, playing really contact on this. So he's going to fall away, try and find a safer spot, but again, could get hunted down here by Dennis. He's in control room, and I don't know if he knows it. Now Device gets caught out pretty much unawares here, and now Dennis is kind of scratching his head going, how have I got this far? But there's the crossfire coming into play. And LoL 1v2 at this point is near on impossible with no kit.
Yeah, look, even with a smoke there, you could try and, orchestrate something to try and befuddle Astralis. But again, time is not in your favor. You don't really have, time as a resource there to orchestrate something like that at all. So LoL will just have to allow this to occur. 4-0 now in Astralis. And to be fair, a lot of these rounds, they've been nipping through with a couple players left, but still 4 T-side rounds on the board for Astralis, and the money is still flowing.
Yeah, they've recovered the AWP too, so Device gets that one back in his hands, so really nice for him to just keep rolling through this. And we're not going to see Oscar on that yet. Again, this is the thing, keep the money low for the CT side, keep them constantly just struggling to deal with it. They have got at least a molly, 2 mollies, a couple of bits and pieces here. Oscar and LoL not able to go for that, so it does make it a little bit tricky. And Device probably going to go for a bit of a peek here, have a little bit of a pick. He does miss out on one, actually. Dennis has got ahead of where they expected, so ahead of the curve as such as Glaive now might have to keep that in mind. Bit of a master of the outside, but it's Kiebi to deal with him. Even better, have some support in this as Nico waits up in the spot. The likes of Hiko have made infamous MBK maybe with those shotguns, but he's there with the UMP, so just as useful. But losing out on map control is a huge issue. Glaive can go secret now. He can do what he wants towards lower, and Astralis are just keeping this map completely in their hands, even though they've barely gone anywhere.
Yeah, and Astralis now just getting a bit of map control through Glaive at least. He's gone in towards secret. Most of those kills are coming through on towards the site here, which is just very good news for the T side. Oscar wins that duel out, takes half his HP, has payment. And Dupree, Nico's definitely seen that. Oh, he turns away at the probably not a bad time. Actually, the flash came through, and now it's actually Estrada's flash.
Oh,
Nico wants to capitalize straight down the vent. Surely there will be hot pursuit coming from the Danes. But Device takes his time. Might allow Oscar to have a shot here, but he sprays down the smoke, gives away his position. Now he's full flashed.
Nico's so sick. He was going for the AK then as well. Spitty almost got the follow-up too. He got a good bit of a damage done towards Kievi, but now the 1v2 is tough. Where'd you take yourself? You've got a smoke and a molly, and you've got the bomb. That's a bonus, but Oscar's going walkabouts. He's going to try and get a little bit of a head, but actually the smoke's going to pull him back here, so maybe saving Kievi from a fate that could have been dealt his way, but Kievi going to work his way out now. 26 seconds. Oscar's timing is great at this point if he checks all the way. If he goes all the way around just to ensure, but he might go towards radio. There's options aplenty. But he's going to wait for the plant here. Nicely done. Nico can just wait down below on the vents. And now Oscar should be able to get this one done. Kievi won't have time to check, and there it is. Well played out from Oscar. Didn't lose composure. Allows Nico the time to find the ops, and now that's back into the fold. And Astralis just got walked down that round.
Credit to Nico as well, because when he was accosted by Astralis, he inched in a bit of an awkward position. He was actually facing Squeaky Door as he sidled up against this left wall on upper. And there was so much stimulus. There's an abundance of things happening in front of him. And he saw smoke. He actually saw an Astralis player peek out the side of vent, but he turned the flash very, very well, got his own flash in, ran forward. Now, he could have tried to challenge to do something stupid through the smoke, but he puts himself in a situation where Astralis, if they challenge him, they're probably going to die. They have to drop down vents. Nico's there. So not only does he get a kill, he gets away, stays alive till late round. Perfect stuff for mousesports to get their first round on the board. And like you said, Lauren, the AWP now sits with Oscar.
How does he play this one out as well? Because they know he's going to have it. You can expect that, and they're going to hear it now. It looks like a quick play towards Alta. Look at this flash. Right towards Mac, towards outside. And look at it. Huge. Oscar denied everything. And now he has no angles under, under wraps, under security. But a great flick towards Kievi, going to at least keep some control, but 1 HP is not enough here. He's got to find some dirty angles to keep himself in this game.
Again, now Oscar, what he did well on Mirage was backing away after an unsuccessful foray and making later round contributions. A little bit hard sometimes on towards these close quarter sites here, but Oscar will slink into the shadows and choose his time later to push forward. Or maybe he'll just get accosted here in ramp. Again, another long angle, definitely favourable for the AWP player, but Astralis aren't challenging yet. Oh. Spoke too soon.
Astralis are getting info, though. They're able to kind of walk around, get a little bit of a feel of where they are, where they put Oscar. Device now actually has the AK-2. He only had a Tech 9 at the start of the round, picked that up of Kievi. So going to start pushing his way through that upper catwalk. Spitty doesn't notice him. I'm almost certain he did not see that. Now Device gets a little bit more freedom. Peeking around, checking. If he gets upper control here, if he gets towards the rafters. This is a disaster. He can call out all these positions. He spots 2 now. This is huge information, and he does get the first, follows up cleanly on the second, and he's kept this situation even now. 3v3 and a follow-up. Device's position is sublime, and that has turned this round around.
Did Spitty expect the Device to jump down on towards the side? I mean, you're challenging when you're on the ladder, which messes your aim up as it is against Device. Oscar now has got to bring it back. A 1v2, 1 HP. Glaive will be off into his periphery onto towards the side. A shot, and Glaive backs away. Respects the fact the AWP is in the hands of the Czech Republic representative, but the bomb's ticking away. Oscar lacks a kit, lacks time. 3 kills. He may not have any more though. Now Device challenges. He gets an angle. 1 HP. A strong wind did blow Oscar away.
That was a beautiful round from Device from positioning alone. The fact that he made his way around that sort of, I guess, the upper side, got the AK, found an exploit, forced mouz to be uncomfortable, found every piece of info, and look at the money now on mouz. It's awful, and they're going to go back on the buy because they kind of have to at this point, but no utility almost hit. Nothing. You got a nade and a couple of smokes and a flash. Really
quickly, second opinion on that challenge from Spitty there on ladder. Do you think that was incredibly risky from him, or?
I think it's just a reflex sort of thing. You want to deny any more, but it was too late by that point.
It was. Oh, hello. Shots through the door. Device taken very low. I think that was Nico waiting on the other side with nothing but the Desert Eagle, and he's definitely done some damage with it so far. Not enough, though, to keep Astralis at bay. Xyp9x fires back very quickly, and now Glaive trying to make a meal of things here. In fact, he does just that. Dennis with the CZ manages to get up close and take him out.
Yeah, nicely recovered. You got armor as well with mouz, so anything they get back into their hands is good, especially if it's rifles. They've got UMPs here, 5.7 on Speedy. It's not brilliant, but anything you get done. This is a nice little boost. You need someone else to help you on this, but it's a good position. Speedy, not going to make anything of it. Had the opportunity, does spot them out, I guess. Information is king at some point. A kill's better, though. And Dupree needs to be careful. There is someone waiting those newly formed doors, but Oscar's there as well in control room, so this gets a little bit more worrying, and they don't check on why those magical doors have suddenly opened. And mousesports get this round back in their favor. Back and forth we go, but the scoreline still looking good for Astralis, and if Xyp9x can do this, it would be brilliant. An ace required. A little bit of a tough task, but up to the challenge. Spots out 1 and waits for his chance to strike. 39 seconds. The bomb, it's possible to get to, but has to play this out perfectly.
Lol's backed away here, so there won't be an immediate peek from him from ramp room. He's actually, thinking that maybe Xyp9x has gone up towards the upper side, but that will allow a plant to occur here. Lol, though, will be ready to receive him there. The AWP ringing true, and Xyp9x falling. mousesports now will get their second of the match so far. 3 for Xyp9x in that round, but he pretty much had the turret mode to deal with both of his assailants in that case. And mouz, of course, are just going to cut their losses. They put 1 up towards the upper levels and 1 down low to deal. And this was Device.
This is big. Just nice composure on this. And then you hear Spitty coming up, and there it is. It was just really nicely positioned.
My sweet summer child. So much hope in his eyes as he ascended that ladder.
So, looking at this one, Astralis still... The thing with Nuke is at the moment, you don't know how T or CT sided it is at this point, and if the teams are even. If you have 2 even teams, how far does it go in the balance? Classically, an incredibly CT sided map, but at the moment we're seeing a lot of teams, I guess specialist teams, starting to show that they really can put up a performance on this T side. See if Astralis can try and turn it back around. Once the money does start falling into the hands of the CT side, it becomes incredibly difficult to break it out, just purely because it's so hard to hit these sides, find these angles, but Device is so desperate for a chance at one.
Oscar, second kill, that was both towards outside there as well, in case you're wondering where they happened there. Glaive got challenged down first, and then, of course, it was Dupree to follow. He's really controlling that area quite nicely here. And Astralis, well, it follows, Lauren. They don't have a lot to work with here, just those deagles, and they get nothing for it.
Clean rounds are important. Keeping everyone alive means they have full money for full utility. And I hate to just go on about it, but it's so integral on this map. Now maybe they can deny the aggression that Astralis have been bringing, force them to play another game, force them to go maybe to a different approach. Have to see what they go for here. Glaive's money is certainly not ideal, but again, could have been dropped out here. No, just gonna have to ride it with the Tech 9.
And you can see that. That's how much he values, of course, not only saving some money for the AWP, but also having good utility. A lot of the hits on this map can be very elaborate, especially the fast hits towards upper, and Astralis need everything available to them to make them happen. And it's going to be Glaive again towards the outside. Very wary, of course, that Oscar has the AWP in his prowling.
But Glaive has pretty much created his own path, past T-Red with the smokes and such that his teammates put down to get secret. And this is weird that he's allowed to get this far. And now Speedy's completely blind. Forced back. Glaive has been found, but now Speedy has to turn up. And a 1-for-1 trade isn't enough, and that's the problem. Dennis going down means this is theirs now. Oscar's too late to get here. Now Nico is the final boss. That's the problem, because it's Nico bearing in mind, but yeah, he fights through it. It's a 2v2. Device finds Lol, and none of these pushes from Mousesports. These fights are well timed enough, and Oscar's been spotted. Kirby, great mentality to even keep that in mind. That could be a possibility. And there we go. Device and Kirby, the two big players I guess you could pull up from the major, barring that final, I guess, game that they played in the grand finals. Those were the two headliners, and that was a big round from both of them.
And that was a snap decision from Kirby as there as well. Device was looking at the other side of the room, and Kirby was at the time, and just the inkling in the back of your head at just that moment that, wait a minute, maybe someone's managed to sneak up behind us there as well, was pretty much what saved Astralis in that round. Well played. 6 rounds on that T side now. It's looking ominous for Mousesports, who need to replicate that at the very least in the second half. Depending on what is achieved in the first, though. Device nade. That's a heavy hit from the nade. 55 off him. Glaive also quite low. Spitty just going to challenge into the smoke. Headlong into the fog. This time gets one more kill than he did last time, but ramp room control goes to the Danes.
And look at the rotates here. Let's see how well Astralis is starting to read these. Can they find a way to play through them? Plant comes in for Dupree here. That's fine. Should be able to get challenged out. I don't think yet. You've got Zipnix already watching the close push, and he follows up towards Dennis. Now, Lol and Oscar are pretty much locked out of this. I don't think they're particularly close either. Oscar's still on upper, and Lol's watching the back of vent. So their play back into the site is incredibly limited. No kit either on either of them.
Again, another good early push from Astralis. Backed up with a couple errors from Mousesports, and there it is. Device waiting for Oscar to make that peak, and now Lol has an M4. So in cases like this, you'd want to try and save, but how do you extricate yourself from this labyrinth of danger? At least gets himself an AWP. Yeah. Now Lol was trying to piece out, but around the corner, it's going to be a no-scope onto us, Dupree. And Lol just had the quick flick. And quick reaction now. Trying to hop along. And the hair does ruin the race sometimes. When he decides to hop around, a little bit easy to hit.
The hop, skip, and a jump wasn't quite enough, sadly. But, you know, the player that we looked at the start was Oscar, and he's starting to come alive. So I want to see more from him. I want to see him get that ult consistently, but the money's been broken for Mousesports a lot. We haven't seen much of it, but he's still being able to hold his own here. But at the end of the day, Astralis, with 7 rounds on Nuke so far, is looking very good. And these are gun rounds. It wasn't just, you know, a couple here and there, a couple of, you know, lucky rounds. These guys look consistent, and they know now the money's low for Mousesports, so they're back to this. This is what they do, and they are very, very good at it. The only problem being now is Mousesports are reading it like a book. Dennis and Lola are in the right place at the right time, but still, the arsenal they have at hand just isn't enough to deal with it, surely. It's a 2v2, but Zipnix is on 1 HP. This could change everything. Dennis is low, sure, but Molly's going to force him into the eyes of Zipnix, and now Spitty has to do it all, and he can't, and Zipnix on 1 HP will get the 4 kills in the end. And it's a rough ride for Astralis. That play, it's readable, they know what's coming, but they still pull it off.
It comes down to execution very heavily there as well. And we got to see that from Nico's point of view. So now you know what it feels like as a CT to see a coordinated upper hit like that. They didn't have to blow the door out with nades or anything fancy. They just opened it up there. Nico straight away, he got aim punched. He had to back away and try and do something about that. Luckily, Lol was up on top of the hut. Astralis managed to brawl their way through it and keep themselves with decent guns, but that AWP has gone askew from Device.
Brawl is the perfect word. It's not a pretty round at all. It is just brute force sort of play, but look at this already. Glaive constantly gets to secret. Now, Nico's aware of this. He has been kind of, I guess, countering it to a degree, playing the lower side of the staircases. You can create nice crossfires as well from the decon side. I don't think that's the case at the moment, but it does leave a lot of room for Astralis to work. They've been given a lot of room to get towards the outer side of things. Mousesports are having to play these closer angles now.
A little bit of a skirmish there in towards the middle part of the map, and Zipnix is pushed quite close up here. Not sure what to expect from ramp room. And well, we saw Spitty try and operate that spot earlier on, but this time it's going to be 2 of them trying to set a crossfire inside ramp. Mousesports, that is. Device going to bang these out a little bit earlier on now. This could imply, of course, any kind of hit towards top side. Throw nades through there if you want to.
This was actually something that Chad mentioned not too long ago, actually, about Nuke. When it first came back through, was people setting precedents as such. So you do this every round, so they never know when you can do it or when you're not. It doesn't take too much time if you're going to play these kind of slower rounds, but this looks a little bit different. That's nice. Molly on top, that's a consistent spot that's been utilized against them. We've seen so many players doing it, but Glaive and Device finding kills anyway. HP's a little low, but only 1 to 4 being Device. He was low already. And now the UMPs left have to do some heavy lifting here.
Glaive going to burst his way on towards lower here. Molotov towards the site, just to clear. That's going to be Zipnix had found Dennis, so Spitty low. Just the 2 of them will make their way towards ramp room. That's where Zipnix is waiting there as well. Lolo, great little headshot off the back of it. It's going to be, especially with the UMP, these don't come all that often. There's going to be an AK left free. Spitty going to opt to pick that one up here, and just in case there could be a flank, he's going to head out to meet Glaive. The bomb is ticking down though, and no kit. Again, Mousesports constantly finding themselves in this situation. Spitty managed to clean up Glaive, but it may be a save for this man here. I don't really know what Lol can really orchestrate on his own. Very little at this stage, I dare to say. And Astralis, 9 rounds just around the corner for them on that T side. That is an indomitable total, or at least it is in many cases.
Does get an AK, that's oh god. Again,
nope.
the hop, skip and a jump right into the loving arms of Kiebi. Just like, thank you very much, I'll take that. And yeah, I don't know what to say about Astralis. The thing for me is that these rounds aren't pretty at the end. They're very brawl-like. They'll take these fights. They kind of have to, but it works out so well for them.
T-side nuke.
Yeah, and it's so impressive to see that they are consistently just stomping down mousebots.
And look, there's such an overabundance of angles. If a CT side gets entrenched, those anti-eco rounds, when you're obviously working with very little pistols and UMPs, you can get those frags, right? Astralis are always going to put themselves in those positions.
This feels like we put on a replay, doesn't it? It feels like we put on a replay of every single round we've seen in this situation.
Yes.
They just rinse and repeat.
What do you do about that rush? Like, very little, because especially if you wait and throw the Molotov on towards the top of hut, you don't have to worry about vertical sight lines until you get around the corner. So it's just Nico.
It works so well, and I want to highlight Zipnik's being a big provider of kills doing this. In the Mayhem, he does seem to come up with a lot of these frags. This round specifically got 2, but even prior to that, he's been very good at kind of just getting himself in there, not just waiting for these situations to come to him. He finds the opportunities, and it's good for him, and it's good for the team, of course. And there you go, bomb down. Nico left alive, 1v4. I don't see it happening. Yeah.
And the fact is that, especially when you don't have good utility to work with, mousebots are hoping to put Nico to receive that A rush, hopefully get some stopping power, but it's so difficult. Nico doesn't have armor, so the fact he's alive here means that he, respected the fact that, okay, I get one shot. I get one shot and try and get a headshot, otherwise I have to back away here because they are all going to come through squeaky, or at least 4. Nicely done.
He's still such a good individual player, jeez. So you're just watching him play is obscene, but through the smoke, Dupree will not let him escape. And Astralis making it double digits on the T side of Nuke. This is the thing. It's hard mentally for mousebots to know going into the harder side on the second half. If they don't get rolling early, it's GG
it's depressing. It's incredibly depressing.
So this is a big round, though. They've finally got utility. Again, it's back we go. It's that lull for a while where they have nothing, where Astralis just farm those rounds. Now you get the challenge. Now this is the really important ones where mousebots should be winning them out. But this is the AWP v AWP that we haven't really seen that much of.
No.
Device got on it first, as Oscar's stolen it a couple of times.
They've been traded between them. There's only ever been really one.
And now we just finally get to see this battle go down.
Yeah, Oscar making himself scarce at this stage. Actually goes down to Glaive there, so that's not a great start. We just kind of hyped up that battle. However, Dennis, again, tries to stand and deliver, and Kirby often playing up on uppers. Gets that pick off. It's looking very good for Astralis so far. Device using that AWP well. Nico lurking in vents. Again, a position where Astralis always at a disadvantage to challenge him there. And Spitty gets the jump on Zipnix, but he can't advance any further. He's seen the bomb, though. And that's enough to get him to back away for a moment. Device with some door hinge shenanigans there. Waiting for Kirby as well to give him a bit of a crossfire on Spitty, or at least find out where the heck he's gone.
Is he going to go all the way around? You've got 58 seconds. I guess he could, go up through secret, go all the way around so he can clear out.
Catches Nico here. It's on for young and old.
Yeah, and he's got an up. He doesn't. I was hoping he'd have a pistol then as well that he could work with, but he's just fine
so
here.
dead.
Yeah, there you go. This opens up, but will they fall for the fact that maybe they lose track of it being Spitty? That's the only option, and they know he's got to be watching that bomb. They've got to know it.
Got 3 flashes and a molly.
Good luck, Spitty. I wouldn't want to be in your position right now.
Again, it's easy to flash this room, by the way. We can see how open it is. It's not always easy to duck behind. That's the head of Device going rolling, though. Now Spitty with 2 kills. Kirby with just the one for the round, trying to challenge in towards hut there. Spitty goes for a shot, 66 points of health on him. Gets himself a smoke. May not work much for him in this case. Kirby just wants to challenge this one out straight, and Spitty misses the fact that Kirby's jumped into hut, or has he?
We're about to find out. 10 seconds. Turn the flash, but Kiebi is there early. He catches him in that turn. He gambled the positioning, I guess, at that point. I don't know if he heard the step on the ladder or not, but it doesn't matter. Astralis get 11 rounds on their T side. This is actually quite painful to watch in a way, because you're just constantly waiting for mousebots to just string rounds together, so you hope they get their money going.
It's the kind of scar that hurts every time a cold wind blows, you know what I mean? For years and years. It's like, it's not going to stick with them, of course, but now they're just, twisting the knife in the gut of mousebots. A lot of flashes towards the outsiders we've often seen from Astralis. Makes it very hard for Oscar to interact directly and push towards Long. Gives so much access to Astralis. Lol now trying to just brawl it out. Here it is. This time it's going to be mousebots trying to turn it back to Astralis and get in their faces. So far in a 4v2, looking good. Kirby, that's very daring of him to drop down. Falling to Spitty, leaving a Device on his own.
The final round, just rush him. Just push. We can't play passive. We can't do anything else.
Logic.
Just run at them. And hey, it's worked until now. Device is left with 4 players to claim. He's got 1 minute and 10 seconds. He's got the bomb. He's got an AWP. He's got A little bit of play there in the form of smoke, molly, flash. Doesn't like the AWP, wants the AK.
Well, if he actually wants to be serious about winning this round, and it's all well and good, I mean, he's not carrying that through to the next half either way. Do what he can. Maybe even psychological damage at this point. Further psychological damage.
Will anyone feed from mouz? Who's going to just randomly take a fight? It's going to be low. That's fine. He's bought time. He's been back away from it. That's actually really good. And now you can see Device waiting for the next response. Like, who's going to try and exploit that? Where else can I find these kills? And he can't do it. Lol was there. I think it was actually... I'm not sure who it was actually over by by Hell who was taking that fight. But it was nice. It bought them time. They finally got around on the board. It felt like years in between. Yeah, massive half there for Astralis.
Yeah, and now it's going to be mousesports slowly and sorrowly limping over the line to the break, but they've still got another half to play, and it's going to be on that dreaded T side. Join us for that one, ladies and gentlemen, when we return in a few moments. Well, it's been a stark and strident challenge issued by the Danish side of Astralis in the first half here on Nuke, and mousesports now need to shake themselves off and try and jump back into the fray. But Lauren, it has been all about the red and white, the Danish dynamite so far.
Your rhymes are just beautiful. I didn't want to even interrupt, if I'm honest, but Dupree's just jumped in towards up. What on earth is this round? Dupree gonna have to back away because here comes the flood, but he's got support. Glaive is there, and now Dupree can just, well, I was gonna say buy his time, but he just wants to get into the action. It's a 3v2 already. This is a very strange pistol.
Yes, mousesports throwing caution to the wind here, and just try to make whatever they can happen. Well, Kirby's up in rafters here, and Kirby now no longer is with us, unfortunately.
Oscar just went like, you know, full, I guess like aimbot style, just walks in, just gets 4 kills, just straight up.
That's a very succinct. That's a very succinct interpretation of aimbot.
It's like, you know, the non-prime matchmaking sort of spin bots you get.
Yes, I do.
You get that one person who forgets to turn on prime, and you're sat there like, why is someone just spinning around in mid? And
he's just got high sense. Just having a bit of fun.
And now he's got a shotgun.
Okay, Oscar.
Oscar, what are you up to?
You have my interest.
I want to see what happens now. Oh, okay.
Nades the door out, pushing with pistol, drops down. All right, so the vent dive completed.
That's great. He just sits there and waits. So, okay.
Okay.
I don't know what to say about this game because shotguns are working and mousesports are picking up rounds. 2 things that are surprising me now after that first half.
Device just got turned into pate with fancy hair. I think there's no other way of putting it. It's going to be Dennis finding Glaive and now Dupree in a 1v4. Trying to vent dive his own, but guess what? It's... You know, Oscar, I really want to set you up, mate. I really want to make it big, but you just handed over your shotgun to Dupree.
Dupree is a great shotgun player. He tells me in matchmaking it is the best gun. I hope he saves this for later rounds. Or Nico just walks into it. He's having a little look. And, oh, God, I lied.
It's cursed.
Parlously. I'll never do it again. And Nico is just better. And thankfully, he's saved the shotgun. Actually, to be fair, as much as I'm mocking, it's actually kind of useful for vent dives because you can just sit at disgusting close ranges and wreck people. People do it on the CT side, sitting on Hut, just about watching Squeaky. I think MBK was like one of the first EU, and Hiko got really well known doing it as well.
Cobblestones, where we see it all the time.
Yeah, it kind of works. Like, I hate saying it, but it does. You're seeing more of these unorthodox weapons coming in, finding very specific roles. We're seeing the UMP now being kind of branded across the board as being useful, and you're seeing it here with, I guess, a shotgun.
Yep. We'll see if it works out for mouz Sports. Got that round in their court. Tappy tap across the map. Lowell finds Kirby there. Long range with the Mac-10 does deliver, but Device is able to just use the high ground. 4v3.
It's those sort of rounds when I'm questioning if it's actually live. You know, those sort of ones where I'm seeing like
that was that
shotgun
pistol
buys,
round. That's what I was thinking.
I was like, but it is. It is perfectly live. And the three remaining plays from Astralis pretty much clean as you like, Eco. Zimnik still finds a kill, so nice work from him. But the two remaining players have a Mac-10 and a shotgun, and you know what? I just believe this is going their way.
No plant yet. Zipnik's playing rafters with shotgun, very standard, of course.
I've seen this happen before. Yep. I just want him to dive in with it. And there you go, Device finds Dennis. And if this works out, what is this game, Mitch? If this... Oh, that's a nice little cheeky smoke. Okay, he tries to use it like a flash maybe or something. I don't know. Trying to be cheeky with it, but you've got two players left, and Device has 2 kills. Does have a UMP, but no armor. This is the problem. He can't take like straight one-to-one fights as such. Trying to catch people off guard, trying to find a way to utilize it. But at this point, I think the angles he was looking for earlier on are now just negated.
With a hole blown in Squeaky there. It's just the vantage Nico needs to watch the pushing towards main. Device actually going to spray him down to very, very low, but then has to send and deliver to yet another assailant. Spitty had the angle, and mouz Sports have the round. 11-7 here. T-side rounds seem to be flowing for both sides, but maybe too early to tell as mouz Sports still staring down a 4-round deficit.
Here we go. This is mouz Sports' time to get those reins back in their hands. Try and find ways to just put themselves back in this game. Oscar getting on the AWP quite early here is great for him too. Hopefully he builds into this one. Device going glass cannon, so he wants to meet this somehow. He might actually not take the fight. We know the Device doesn't always go for, the AWP battle. He likes his aggression anyway. He'll take the fight where he can. So going to smoke out for ramp earlier on. Back away from that. Maybe find something else to go to. Glaives, known for playing the outside area. He's the one who goes aggressive. Generally, Device will sit further back, kind of by Hell maybe, or just slightly deeper. We've seen positions literally in CT spawn these days being viable, but this isn't quite there. He's still a little bit further forward. So mouz being giving a little bit of play towards the outside area. And for Astralis, they utilize their utility there, all those smokes and nades and mollies early on to just try and thwart any quick hits from mouz Sports. Now they're down to minimal amounts.
Oscar now in a position to look straight on into Squeaky, so no chance of anyone really getting through there, let alone closing the door. Defree will be sitting just up on top of Hut now. 1:04 in the round. A couple of Molotovs on towards the outside of the map. Neither AWP are electing to actually play towards outside, so again, that duel avoided by both parties. And we know that Oscar sometimes can be a big cage about his AWPing. Remember that Cobblestone map, back in the old mouz Sports where he just kept throwing the AWP back to Chris J, saying, no, I'm not doing this, I don't want to do it. But now, has no choice, of course, with the roster the way it is. Spitty finds Dupree, trying to make the dive down the vent. Kirby waits.
Really nice time pinch then towards the upper site. Perfectly played, and Nico dancing in the doorway will get Kirby completely unawares, and Device is left with just kind of the option of, do I just back away now or later? How do I want to play this one out? Off to spawn we go. Zipnik's as well pretty much locked out of this. You can sit up on the forklift and get a nice angle if you're with a rifle or an AWP, actually. But he's going to hold a bit of an off angle, just hold a very passive play in case someone like Dennis goes walk about. So Zipnik's trying to do the same thing, but Nico quicker on the trigger. But Device will at least try and keep hold of this AWP. You can see them swarming. You can see that X-ray not looking so nice for Device, but can he keep hold of this AWP? Name of the game for him now.
So it's probably the safest angle on the entire map the Device could potentially hold. Got no armor though as well, so does need to respect this flash in. And now we see what he does, which is not a hell of a lot. Again, another flash caught. This could be nasty. mouz Sports will be able to get up close. How does he find the head of Oscar there? Not sure. He gets the second. Low will fall. And mouz Sports pay dearly to challenge and take that AWP, but they will finally have it. Ow.
That was nice from him, but it doesn't matter. AWP over towards mouz Sports, and we said it about Astralis, and I'll say it about mouz Sports. I don't care if the rounds are messy, if they don't look so pretty. As long as they get them on the board, they're doing fine. And that hit towards upper was really nicely pinched together. You saw Dupree completely off guard, wasn't able to keep it together. Normally he focuses kind of towards door or towards Hut. Unable to keep those in check, gets caught out by kind of pushing through main. Really nicely done. Now mouz Sports, aware that Astralis' money should be pretty much in the dumps here. How do they play this one out? Going to get Zipnik's boosted up towards ramp room. Really? Do you want to find the right angle or not?
Nah, bro,
okay,
peace.
he made a little bit too much noise there. Maybe not fancying it, trying to bait someone into it possibly. But he still gets the kill with the 5-7.
I think they realized they were running out of time to put that one together. Maybe not even an ideal spawn or just too long. But the shenanigans are boosting up itself. Spitty finds Zipnix there. He's made the peak and leaves Glaive back on his lonesome. Inside ramp room, but Oscar choosing not to challenge at this stage. It was just the deagle in the hands of Glaive. mousesports just assessing how much Astralis are working with. And now, only 2 players. 1 deagle, 1 bit of armor on device. That's it. Looking very good for mousesports so far. They are pinching nicely on Astralis' economy and capitalizing.
Yeah, this is great from them. Really nice resurgence, not letting that first half get to them mentally. Seeming like they're able to pull this one back thus far. A little bit of damage by Glaive there. Device actually got himself an AK, so that's a nice pickup for him. He might want to try and keep that one to check. And is he going off to spawn again? No, he's going to go to the back of Mac or in the outer hut. Keep that one as safe as possible. And Glaive, well, Glaive can do what he wants, really. He's only got a deagle. Might as well keep that into wherever he wants to do. If he can catch someone out, that's brilliant. But I doubt Mouse are going to let it happen. Nico's already backing away too.
Bear in mind as well, those player scores not necessarily accurate in the second half. A little bit of a bug going on. But round score is correct, of course. So it's going to be 11-9. Oh, that's cheeky, Glaive. Wants to give it a tickle. Hoping for a kill, but he won't have it there. So Astralis now need to just prevent this frustration from starting to bubble up there because they know they closed the game on CT side. It's where they should be doing it.
I just really like the ragdoll effect of the bomb going off. He just kind of like dolphin dives
You used to give us
backwards.
some incredible observing, actually, with that ragdoll effect.
It's a very
I'll be
hidden
honest.
talent that I have.
I enjoy that thoroughly,
Yeah,
actually.
it's a gift. But speaking of gifts, Device does have an AWP, so hopefully he gets to put that to use and gift Astralis another round here. They need to break in on the CT side, but mousesports looking good. At the moment, they haven't been truly tested, it feels like. They've been kind of just leading the fray in every aspect. But Glaive, this is what I wanted to see. Where's that CT-sided aggression that he seemed to do so well at the Major? There's the first glimpse of it. Catching out Dennis, backing away. Now he's going to leave Device to his own devices. And now Lol has already got a nice angle here, though. He's going to spot out Device. Does Device spot him? That's the question. Yeah, Lol's a little bit nervous now because he knows it's a bit of an even trade out and you don't want to go challenging that. But Mouse have found another way in. They're just going to hit upper, and when you can just leave Nico to be a turret, why not do it? Molly towards upper going to deny Device the peak. He's going to have to be careful of that now. Has to back away from it. And it did go down the stairs, actually, so it made no impact, but it still forced him off the angle.
Spitty now straight for the plant. 3 players up for Astralis right now. And after a bit of a bit of CT aggression, which we'd like. We'd like a bit of that thrown in the mix. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. As Kirby knows the bomb is down on upper, trying to make his way into hut. Device is a long way from the action, but he does find Oscar now as well. That's an AWP potentially denied from mousesports if they don't get a chance to get out there and catch it. Can even discard it there. Kirby having to trade out, though. Spitty with 2 in those couple moments now on a 1v2 for Device. 9 of these mousesports players can get the AWP, but if Device drops it, it'll be in their hands. What is that? Nico got 3 frags this round that no one should ever get.
Jump at someone. Can we watch that again? If everyone was able to get that on a replay, I just want to watch it. Because how frustrated are you if you're Device? You're it's like, really?
It's just audacious as well.
Really?
We know what P250 headshots can do to you, right? I get it.
So dirty, though. And of course, it's Nico.
You literally got 3 kills you shouldn't have gotten that round. Okay, maybe 2. That shot towards upper hut as well, where you really should have control as CTs of upper, where you've got rafters and you've got someone playing on top of hut, and they both go down to Nico as he pushes through as well there as well. He definitely causing a lot of problems for Astralis. And, you know, CT aggression, we didn't see much from mousesports in the first half here. Obviously, that's why they kind of struggled. Do you think that's the ticket for Astralis?
I'm still just sat here grinning about this. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to say it, and I rarely swear, but if you're Nico, you just have that shit-eating grin on your face. You know what I mean? Like, ear-to-ear sort of smile, just grinning, knowing you've just annoyed Device. Like, it doesn't matter how you go about it. That is just
Say
brilliant.
hi, Adlan Deva.
Yeah. One of those.
Oh,
but good stuff overall. And mousesports' money, let's look at Nico's money as well. I hate to just go on about this guy, but he's got 8K in the bank. Everyone else is okay as well. Buy going to come out. But on the other side, you've got pistols. So Astralis feeling basically that full thing that they've done to mousesports right back at them. It's literally just been thrown right back in their face.
Yeah, and Astralis are, again, falling at the same waypoints as mousesports did. You can see in that case, Dupree was in Nico's spot from last half. Just a deagle watching that fast squeaky push, but it's not forthcoming this round, no. mousesports working upper and up on the outside rafters here slowly. Dupree's heard nothing, not a whisper towards the inner sight.
Gets a little bit dangerous when deagles are on the board. That's the one thing I'll always keep in mind here. Glaive, Nice work towards Dennis. Dupree did help him out in that one. Kievi's going to find Nico. Glaze found Lol. What's going on? Device gets Oscar. This is the round they're going to turn it around on, really?
It's karma.
Yeah, I guess it is. After that shot, you know, the universe has to balance out somehow, but it's left Spiddy in a tricky predicament.
Has the bomb at least. And plenty of utility here, so we can essentially cordon off some of these egress points towards the site, but instead just tries to brass ball it straight in with the plant here. Now a late Molotov towards upper. Hopefully it doesn't go straight down the stairwell, as it does often happen. Oh, gets Clave. Clave might have been on the ladder there as well, as maybe he just got caught by the flames as he went up. But it won't be quite enough. Spiddy there as well, being gifted a kill, but still had 2 more that he had to get the old-fashioned way, Lauren. And Astralis finally a round on the board. It'll be their first of the half. Keep themselves ahead of mousesports by a whisker.
I don't know what to say about this game.
It's
It's one of those, you know what I mean? It's one of those. It's where you look at the screen like, oh, this must be a close game. You just tune in and you're like, oh no, mousesports have actually just been hammering them. It's a T-sided map apparently, you know? We've known nothing about Nuke. It's a T-sided map. It's not at all.
Yeah, no.
But now we've got utility. We've got full utility, full weapons. If Astralis going to build back, this is where it should begin. This is where you should be able to lock it down. We don't have the AWP on Oscar this time either, so that's not on the up for grabs. And they're going to go for a fast hit here. This is dangerous. Dupree normally shines in these situations, but again, he does find 2, so he's doing pretty well for himself. Yeah, he'll get away with that one. Going to find a good spot here. Over by the vents, and no one's going to be able to dive down, and mousesports are going to have to just hit the brakes. There's no way through now. All that utility is just hitting them even lower. Oscar 3 HP, Dennis 29, and Nico has to be, again, the playmaker here.
That is exactly what you want to see from Dupree, by the way, in that position. That's exactly what mousesports, and to be fair, Nico failed to do on their CT side, is to shut down that push. The stopping power wasn't available to mousesports in whatever way, shape, or form. There was no Molotov or no rifle there, but Dupree showed them how it needs to be done. And now Astralis building some momentum here. Oscar with 3 HP, and not even that now as Dupree catches him before he can even make any headway towards A. That's a pretty damning indictment there of mousesports not expecting Astralis to have an orchestrated setup to receive a fast push. I doubt they'll go for that again, not in this economy.
Oof. What is the buy that mousesports are coming out with now? Speedy's got Zeus. That's not too surprising. Everyone knows that Speedy loves a good Zeus or 2. So, don't know what he's going to do with it, but it's certainly on board. We've got a decent buy for Nico. We've seen stranger things happen. We saw it in the last game. I don't know if you're going to put Nico into the same, I guess, category as Simple, that he can be one of those playmakers. I don't know if Nuke's the same sort of map that you can do it on, but he's going to give it a good try.
Where's he going to use a Zeus here? That's very interesting. Just to meander back towards Spiddy in our thoughts here. Well, okay, Kirby meets Nico at the door. So for the second time now in 2 rounds, Astralis have been very proactive in defending against any sort of squeaky push. Up from above, Dupree leaps down. It's not Batman, no. It's an Angry Dane, and Spiddy going to fall. It's just Dennis now left, and he does not last long either. 14-10 now, Astralis, the tempo game has begun. 4 rounds ahead, 2 from victory. mousesports need to respond.
Where's the recovery? Still no possible for Oscar. His money is really pretty low. This isn't a great buy, just purely because of that. They have everything else. They'll be fine other than that. A little limited here and there, but they have enough. So if they're going to turn it, as I said, has to be now. It's got to be in this round. So Oscar's got the front spawn. Maybe going to nade outdoor early, try and kind of give the idea of a vent dive, or just try and get some early pressure towards upper. Mollies are a problem, but he's going to make it down, actually. Barely any damage taken, so he can just be a real nuisance. That's what he wants to be. Now tries to take it off angle, make it awkward for Device, try and find himself a gun, and he's gone and done it. Brilliantly done by Oscar. Up into control room. Needs to be a little bit careful, because there are other players here, but Glaive, the slither he can see. But somehow Oscar's got himself an AWP, and maybe he can make something happen, because they are being stopped everywhere else, and only Oscar stands. He started off this round well, but now he needs to close it out.
On his own against 4. Big job for Oscar. Great start to the round, good aggression, but now he's just got to send and deliver. And just like Deutsche Bahn there, mousesport's been ground to a halt, as it often does. Never on time.
No.
I know it's not a full German team, but just having a stab. It's not a big country. All right, literally, like I could drive between 2 of the closest towns in Australia and get across Germany in terms of the distance.
All right.
Still impossible to get a decent train.
But look at the recovery from Astralis' money. They went from absolutely nothing, looking like this could be over, to completely robust. It's keeping players alive, obviously, and kind of going through it once they got into the right position, but completely opposite to that is mousesports. They have nothing. They have...
Oh, my.
And they don't even have heads anymore. Oscar's left rolling on the floor. Dupree going to block that, and Device, I thought that was going to happen, just why not at this point? And sadly for mousesports, they have to recover, but Oscar making use of the one rifle they have up. He's going to find Device again.
Yeah, Oscar rewarded actually for pushing ahead like he did in the previous round there. That's an impossible, a near impossible flick to make there. Huge angle. Clave out from Twink, doesn't quite get all the damage. It's going to be Oscar now to find on towards him. Speedy was waiting in the wings there as well. This is going to be another brawl here, but Dupree evening things up. You said earlier in the night Dupree would be a player to watch, Lauren. You were right. 2 kills for him in this round. There's kids on both him and Kirby now as well, so Astralis can just slow things down a little bit. Foot off the gas. Dupree challenges Dennis there as well. Questionable, perhaps. But it is what it is.
But where is the bomb? It's still there. All right, so mouz needs to come to Kirby. How are you going to play it? This is down to him. He's got a 1v2. And there's 45 seconds left. You've got Dennis on an AWP. You've got Spitty on a rifle. They can hold 2 kind of elevated angles, right? 1 upper, 1 lower. Try and find a way in just in case Kirby's somewhere here. But he's got 35 seconds to keep this one under wraps. And do you know what? I wouldn't put it past this man. They might just spot him. Yeah, they've seen him. There we go. Spitty can give the call. He gets the shot. Job done. Credit this round, at least in my eyes, is to Oscar. He created massive opportunities for them. Only one with a rifle, and he puts it to great use.
The problem is for mousesports, though, is Astralis can essentially buy for the next couple of rounds here. They put together a spree of rounds in a row, 4 it was, really just burgeoning economy. They didn't lose too many guns at all. mousesports partly put a dent on them there, and you can see the difference between winning 5 rounds, you know, just, and 5 rounds, you know, dominantly. Astralis have a buffer to lean back on. They've got everything they need still. And Dennis now, aggressive charge, early peek towards Annex there. But no one presenting here from Astralis so far. Playing it safe.
Let's see if Dennis sticks on the AWP. Oscar maybe just feeling the rifle. I thought it might be spawn-based, but at this point, he's stuck with it, and Oscar's been fed to the wolves here. Dupree awaits on top. He knows that he's got a nice angle. Going to just smoke it out, make it more uncomfortable for mousesports. And they're going to have to kind of leave that alone for now, try and find opportunities elsewhere.
That's the early spawn there. Dennis got it. He gets the AWP. He gets to have an early peek. That's all well and good. But now, Oscar's down. Dennis has to navigate the rest of this round with the AWP, or hand it over. There's only 4 players left for mousesports to keep themselves in this one. An admirable effort on the first map. The second was looking to be glowing similarly now as well, but maybe hope just starting to blink out. 2 players left here for mousesports, and the bomb is loose from them. It's sitting well and truly at the back of the complex, and Spitty just looking for players right now, just looking to thin the herd, but he's only got 48 seconds to do it in. And this is dangerous. This is the lion's den right now. Dupree up on top there will get sprayed down by Spitty. Nicely done. And there's still a lot more to deal with here. 4 players. Flash from Spitty out towards the backside. A Molotov to greet him as he steps back, getting a bit crispy. And Device up on the high ground. Spitty managing to keep things a bit more even now. It's a 3v2.
If he reads Zipnix's position, if he plays that out that perfectly, I would be thrilled. But no, Zipnix is going to go towards upper. Nico's already there. Spitty so close to do something massive. Nico can't find Kirby. And there is the closer. mousesports looked like they're going to pull that one back, but no. Astralis recover in time and pull it back through.
Yeah, impressive stuff there from Astralis to recover from, honestly, a lackluster first map, but they do it in style. Then Nuke eventually waking up on that CT side and get things done. Speaking of getting things done now, let's go over to our desk here just to close us out for the night.
Thank you very much, Uber and Pansy. Yes, Astralis, actually after a trip and a stumble on Mirage, do stabilize, albeit not necessarily as cleanly as we would have anticipated. Chad, you thought that game was going to go all the way after seeing a spectacular first half from the Danes. It just all started kind of tumbling out of control.
Yeah, definitely not as clear-cut as I thought. There's life in the old mousesports yet. Good to see.
Well, let's calm down. It's only night 1.
Well, this is the thing, you know. We're looking at they're still kicking. If they were dead, that would have been 16.
I'll put out some mouse traps, get it over with.
I mean, we have to also remind everyone that this is Nuke, one of I can't think of a worse map to put mousesports on in their current state of affairs, wouldn't you say?
Yes and no. I think like the individual side of things where you had like Nico like weaseling around and finding a lot of kills, it once you ruin a bomb site on Nuke, it's very hard to retake. And the mousesports kept it very competitive, I thought. Even the rounds that they were losing on the CT side, it was always 2v2s, you know. They were always keeping to that, and then they were saving and doing a lot of economical damage. It was a very close game. Like you said, though, it's not a fantastic map.
Okay.
But like I said, I don't know. I lost faith before we started. Now maybe mousesports are looking all right.
Yeah, I know we keep talking about it, but I've had an awful run in the fantasy. You really just do.
Can we bring that up? Is it updated yet?
I don't think we should.
We should probably bring that up. I think we should bring that up.
It's because you're leading.
Well, you know, Sadok's sexy samurais. What can I say?
But everything hasn't been updated yet, Matt. So
well, we should probably bring it up anyway.
No, we'll do it.
And Moses,
just
we can't do
bring it
Moses
up.
yet because he just chose like almost all North America.
Yeah, that's fine. Just bring it up.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So the sexy samurais from Matt have certainly not been doing too badly, but I did happen to. Didn't you have Lowell in your team? You
I did.
Chappie.
Yeah, I did.
Good work.
Thanks, Lowell. Oh, wow. What am I ahead by?
44 points.
14 points ahead? Wow. That's,
Yeah, I am.
I don't know how math works, but that seems pretty good.
It's bigger than 16.
I think you're getting a bit big for your boots, man. It's day one.
Premature.
It's day one.
Premature.
Nah, but
A bit like mouse sports.
it's fine.
All right, back onto topic quite smoothly. I appreciate that, Chad. Yes, Mouse Sports did pick up the win on Mirage. Astralis bounced back over on Nuke. Now, a player we chose to highlight was Nico. If you take a look at his stats, it does tell a great deal of the story. Apparently, we made a bit of a falsehood earlier on in the show. We said that Speedy was in-game leading. Have we been corrected?
Yeah, it's back
Someone,
and forth.
Dana, who used to do social media, I don't know if he still is or not, was doing social
Mouse
media and
Sports,
stuff
yeah.
for Mouse Sports, some management stuff. He tweeted us collectively without the Chad included. Sorry, Chad. It was saying that he's not yet strat calling until after Vegas.
Okay.
So we were right, and then we were wrong, and then we were right again. Well, we're right again now.
No, we're wrong right now. He's not calling until after Vegas.
No, but what we're saying is
Oh,
right.
yeah,
We're
that's
right
right.
now.
Yes.
I don't know if that's right, though, because that says he has 12 kills, 1 death.
Pretty good.
But
pretty good.
But let's read into the ADR, because I mean,
Not even ADR. Look, I mean, the guy hit like some stupendous shots, or the other, take off the suffix of that word and go to a whole different meaning.
Yeah.
They were just ridiculous. That bunny hop with the deagle. I mean, the fact is the strategy wasn't anything crazy. They were winning outside, but they were winning the aim duels, which is why it looked a lot closer than it was. So I'll give them credit there. But overall, I mean, in this game, Astralis definitely wrecked them in the first half, and it showed their CT dynamic again.
Just to keep in mind, Nico was the highest rated player in the regular season for EU
Last year. Yeah.
season 4. So, seeing him performing well again, he
you
got
calling it
22.
onliner?
No, I'm just saying that he performs well in this environment.
Yes, he's comfortable here. He is. And Mouse Sports comfortable as well with their result. We can bring him up for the whole day, though. Our first day of the ESL Pro League Season 5 is coming to a close. We managed to get 4 results on the board for Astralis, not necessarily the most beautiful.
What the heck happened to FaZe?
Conceding yet indeed. The secondary stream is worth talking about a little more so. NIP falling flat on both maps. Hard to believe the
Imagine if you
Ninjas.
picked Forest.
Not
and
forgetting-
Get right in your fantasy team like Henry.
And me.
I picked Forest.
Yeah. Not forgetting, though.
Still in first, though.
Not forgetting, guys, that NIP didn't make Sao Paulo finals.
It's true, actually.
And now they
yeah.
find themselves starting the fifth season.
Keep in mind
poorly
that
as well.
last year as well was an interesting one for them because they went from playing with Disco Doplin at the start of it.
Yeah.
Pith was out on his injury. They played with Disco for a while, and then they brought back in Michael Lele about halfway through that. So they had a weird season last year and didn't make it.
It was very tight indeed. But we can see how things are looking already. It's 2 wins, 2 losses. Kingwin going to be picking up 2 wins. That's right, Heroic and Kingwin, 2 huge underdogs going into their games. I think Heroic perhaps a little less so than Kingwin, but both of them firing on all cylinders, and already people are going to be very happy to see that one. Mouse Sports won, Navi won as well, and down at the bottom you can see FaZe and NIP, 2 teams who've been doing damage elsewhere. Of course, not necessarily the sweetest pill for them to swallow. 0 and 2 for them. That's just Europe, though. Over in North America, I'll give Sadakis the mic for this one because you've got a lot to look forward to.
Why me? Is it because you still think I'm North American? Am I still associated with that?
Well, I mean, I just know that you like to
I don't even
talk
know what that
about-
Running Man logo is.
It's
Cloud9
Rush.
versus
That team's
Rush.
Rush.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Cloud9 versus Rush starts it off, and obviously Cloud9 last year, I think they lost 1 map, including playoffs for the entire season. So keep an eye on them for this. And then it's Immortals versus SK, Brazilian head-to-head. I might step
That's
for that
huge.
alone. On the B stream, Optic, definitely a team to watch throughout the course of the season versus the newly crowned Pro League participants, I guess you could say.
Selfless.
If that's something you would be crowned for, yeah, Selfless are up in that.
But over in Europe, we've got another big one. I mean, look at this. A hot match of the week will be none other than Na'Vi VP. Big one to pencil into your calendar. You are going to be busy at 7 o'clock tomorrow. Sorry, can't come out. Busy watching VP Na'Vi do damage on Train and Cobble. North and Fnatic are going to be battling on Mirage and Overpass. And on the B stream, lots more to look forward to because you've got FaZe versus Heroic. Will FaZe seriously go 0 and 4, or can they best the Danes, who have already done an impressive run to start off their debut here in the 5th season? All of that and more is going to be coming up here at the Pro League's first week. That's, of course, got another day past this one to look forward to. 3 days of broadcast to pencil into your diary. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute blast. We kicked it off.
Good to be
I didn't
back.
swear. We had fun. We got to see some surprises already. I mean, welcome back to online video games. Big names falling quickly.
We know it's a tough season too. We know how close, like
right?
the relegation stage, or not relegation, but the playoff deciding stage
That
was last
final
year.
day
It was
nuts.
insane last year.
Yeah.
So losses like this early can cost a lot of teams. Likewise, getting early leads, you've got to maintain them. Na'Vi last year looked untouchable at the start of the season and then failed to make playoffs. So it's a long season for sure.
It is, and of course those early